Hey guys, Jonathan Soto here, and happy Friday the 13th. Since the calendar's date today marks as Friday the 13th, there is no better time to stop and rank one of my favorite horror franchises of all time, and that is the Friday the 13th franchise. This franchise consists of 12 movies, and for the most part, a lot of them I actually really do like. Even the ones in the bottom, I even find some enjoyment in them too. And I know a lot of them say that they're just stupid slasher movies. I mean, I kind of agree too, but that's just really what I sign up for. So when I'm watching this, like I can just sit down, relax, and just have fun with all 12 of these movies right here. So without further ado, let's get right into this ranking. Now, coming in at number 12, I actually have Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
You're a dead meat slime bag! Yo, man, it's cool. It's cool, man. It's cool.
Now, I know a lot of people would actually put this one higher on their list, but the reason I put this movie of the franchise so low in this list is just because of all the movies in the franchise, this is actually the only one in which I actually feel really bored, not gonna lie. This is the only one where when I watch, like, I'm not really having much fun with it. Like, I just really want to skim through this one whenever I'm binging the franchise. Like, sometimes when I'm even binging the franchise and I get to this one, like, I stop my binge because I'm just getting so bored, like, towards the first act, the second act. But I will say this though, in the third act, when he actually goes to Manhattan, that's when it picks up extensively. The killing gets better in those scenes, and it just gets so wild in those scenes. You're just so into it with those scenes, like seeing Jason walk around Times Square, seeing him walk through the alleyways, through the tunnels. But I will say this, another reason I have this movie so low too is because a lot of this movie isn't really Jason in Manhattan. Most of it is literally just him on the boat. Like, I feel like this movie literally should have just been called Jason Takes a Trip or Jason Takes a Cruise or something like that. Jason Takes a Trip would actually be a really accurate title for this because he's on a boat and then by the end of it he goes to New York. So him going on a trip would sound more better. And like I said, I get really bored with this movie, mainly due to the characters in this movie. I feel like of all the movies here, this one by far has the most boring characters in the entire franchise. Like, I am not interested in any of these characters. I don't care too less for any of them, least of all the final girl. The final girl in this movie, I don't know what it is about her. Like, there's just not much even interesting to her at all. And the way she's acted, too, is so odd, too. She's not like any of the other final girls in the other movies. Like, they're so brave, they're so smart, they have so much character, they have so much emotion to them. Their acting is spot on too. Those final girls carry the movie entirely with every movie they're in, and you just really care for them and you just don't want anything bad to happen to them. But with this one, it's the complete opposite. You wouldn't care if she died or not. I don't know, this is just one where I can't really find myself sitting through. Now, coming in at number 11 will actually be Jason Goes to Hell Part 9. This is one that I actually find to be a little underrated, actually. A little, though. I won't say it's completely underrated, but I can definitely see, like, the strong hate this movie gets. But the reason I put this above Jason 8 is because of the characters. The characters are the biggest saving grace of this entire movie. Okay, now the story in this movie, it's stupid, okay? The story in this movie is just stupid and dumb in every single way. The story is just so damn weird. What even is this? But like I said, the characters really save it though. Like the characters and the stuff that happens in the movie really do save this movie for me because the characters actually have really interesting development to them and very interesting stories to them too. Like the main characters of the movie, the main leads, they have a baby and Jason's soul actually wants to get into that baby and they're doing as much as they can to save their little baby that they just had. And that whole story with that little family, it provided so much emotion to it, and you just cared for them. And I gotta say, these characters are actually really well acted in this movie, like, especially the character of Duke. Now, that is an underrated character right there. Like, my goodness, he was actually a really cool presence in this movie. So, yeah, the leads in this movie really do carry this movie for me. And this movie does have some really cool kills, I gotta say, too. And I can just sit through this movie a lot better than Jason 8. Now, coming in at number 10, we have Friday the 13th Part 5. This is one that's also very different from the franchise too because Jason is actually not the killer in this one this time around. It's actually some guy named Roy Burns. I think that was his last name. It's this whole thing with Roy Burns wanting to take revenge off this foster home that killed his son. So he's just trying to kill that whole foster home, but he's trying to disguise himself as Jason to cover it up and so he can just get away with it. So yeah, I know that story may sound pretty dumb, not gonna lie. It is a little, but I will say this though. This movie's kills are extremely creative. Like they are very dope, not gonna lie. The kills in this movie, they come close to Jason's kills. Like for this guy being a random guy who's just killing these people, like oh my goodness. Like this just makes this guy even more crazier than Jason, seeing how much he's going down on these people. So some of the best kills in the entire franchise are right here. And again, the characters are also the biggest saving grace of this movie too. Like Tommy Jarvis. For any fellow Friday the 13th fans watching this, you guys should know that Tommy Jarvis is actually the very best character of the entire franchise. And Tommy Jarvis just carries this movie entirely. Like, he is the biggest saving grace of this movie. His character is so interesting. Him being dramatized from the events of Friday the 13th Part 4, him being silent, him having deep anger issues with the other people in this group home. And he doesn't fit in with this group home. You can just see all the pain he's been carrying all throughout this movie. And I really do like the other characters too. Like, I really like Reggie in this movie. He is such a likable presence in this movie. He's so funny. He's such a cute presence in this movie, not gonna lie, because he says some of the silliest things ever and he's just so confident about it. This is a kid with confidence right here, and this is a kid who's gonna grow up really well. This movie, like the other movie, has a bad story, but amazing execution though. Now, coming in at number 9, I have Friday the 13th Part 3. This is the movie where we first get to see Jason get the infamous hockey mask for the very first time. And he just rocks in it. He rocks in this hockey mask entirely. He was born for that hockey mask. The pacing in this movie feels really off, I gotta say. Some of the characters aren't really very likable, but some are, not gonna lie. Some are very likable in this movie. Like the main lead in this movie, Chris, she's actually super likable. And she also is one with a traumatic story too. Like she once had an encounter with Jason before she decided to do this whole vacation trip with her friends. And so when she meets up with Jason later on, it's like this emotional banter between her past enemy. And another character I really liked in the movie was the character of Shelly. I can relate to that guy so damn much because he's always so dorky, always so geeky. He's so nerdy too. He tries so hard to get the girl he wants. Like he tries to be like cute enough for the girl that he wants. And again, the kills in this movie are also great. The story is okay in this movie. It's just a standard Friday the 13th movie right here. That's why I put it so low, because it just feels too standard, not gonna lie. But at least least it has a way better story than the other movies in the bottom do. Now, coming in at number 8, I have Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. Now, this movie is actually a pretty sick movie in the franchise, not gonna lie, because in this movie, you have Jason fighting off a girl with actual superpowers. This movie actually has Jason against Carrie White, and I actually found that to be pretty dope, not gonna lie. I know it sounds extremely different and a bit weird in most cases, having the supernatural in this movie, but this whole franchise, though, is nothing but supernatural. So that's why I can learn to accept this, and it was the 80s. They just had the most randomest ideas come in their minds. But the way they executed it, though, I thought was really well done, not gonna lie. Like, throughout the whole movie, she's getting, like, studied and experimented on by her therapist, which I found that to be very unsettling, not gonna lie. And you feel for her, honestly. You feel for her throughout the entire movie. She's also a really excellent final girl in this movie, considering she's, like, the biggest main lead of the movie. But I will say this, though, the other characters that are not Tina are absolutely boring, not gonna lie. And don't even get me started with Melissa. Oh my goodness, what a hateable character that was. She literally reminded me of the girl version of Trent from the reboot. And I mean literally, they act so much alike. But she was so mean throughout the entire movie. Like, she just kept treating everyone like garbage. She kept picking on Tina really badly throughout the movie. And she just kept thinking she can just get whatever she wants just because she's pretty. If you guys watch this movie, I'm pretty sure you guys will also feel the same too, because she was just flat out annoying in that movie. But I will say this, though, Jason in this movie is a complete bad ass. Like, look at his design in this movie. They really went creative with his design in this movie. He looks so dope in this movie. He's so creepy looking that, like, if you literally just saw this in the woods, you would literally be peeing your pants before you had a second to run away. And again, the kills in this movie are very dope, and the ending of this movie is freaking awesome. The whole fight between her and Jason, her using her powers against him, her electrocuting him, her putting gasoline and fire on him, her throwing stuff at him. Like, it was just sick, that entire third act. She even throws the freaking house down at him too. That whole ending is top notch. The reason I put this movie kind of low is because, yeah, the other characters are really boring, and there are actually some times in this movie where I do feel a bit bored too. Now, coming in at number 7, I have Friday the 13th, the remake. This is actually a really good movie in the franchise, not gonna lie, because this movie has some really dope and intense kills all throughout. The kills in this movie are just as creative as the ones in part 5. And Jason in this movie is absolutely terrifying. They do a magnificent job with recreating Jason in this movie. Like, they really upgrade the character of Jason in this movie. They make him more tough, more strong, more hateful, more vengeful. Like, he's just more cooler than he is in other movies, not gonna lie. And seeing him run too is also a really nice change of pace too. And the way this movie is shot too and filmed is so beautiful too. Like, it really does look eerie. This whole movie looks scary. Like, this really feels like a forest you would definitely get killed in. This really feels like a whole set of woods that you would get lost in, even if there wasn't a killer there. And the characters in this movie are actually not that bad, not gonna lie. Some of them are actually pretty interesting. Like, I really like the main leads of Clay and Whitney and Jenna. Those characters I actually really rooted for all throughout the entire movie. Like, I really like Clay and Jenna's chemistry all throughout, and they really carried this movie extensively, not gonna lie. And their whole story was really interesting too, with Clay trying to look for his sister who was missing from that lake. And Whitney, she's also a very likable presence in the movie too. She's one that you're really being worried for all throughout, because she's the victim of being trapped by Jason because Jason thinks that's his mom or something like that. Oh, and Trent in this movie, don't even get me started with him. What a real douchebag that guy is. What a piece of crap he is. I do not like Trent in this movie at all. I hate him passionately because all he does in this movie is just yell at his friends and be like, "You broke my chair. Take your legs off that table. Don't drive my boo." Like, he's just lecturing his friends all throughout. And he literally says, "Mi casa is su casa" when they arrive. And he just keeps saying all that same stuff to them over and over again. And one of my biggest flaws with this movie was I feel like some of the characters could have been a lot more better written, like in the older movies. And I always found the third act to be super underwhelming, not gonna lie, because it's like, clearly Jason did not die. Clearly he wouldn't die by something like that. Now coming in at number 6, I have Jason X.
I have it under control. Thanks.
I had never seen this movie before because I always refused to watch it because of how insanely bad some of the reviews of this movie are, and I always thought it looked stupid too. But in preparation of this video, I actually had to watch this movie, and I gotta say, I ended up enjoying this movie a whole lot more than I ever thought I would, honestly. This movie was a lot more fun than I would have expected it, actually. Like, when I was watching this movie, I was really enjoying myself. I would even go as far to say I was actually having a blast. Now, this movie has a very, very dumb idea to it, honestly, Jason in space, but this movie understands it's being dumb, though, and I really do respect it for that, actually. This movie is actually a ton of fun. There's a lot of sick kills in it. The characters are actually pretty likable in this movie. Like, I really like the main lead of the movie, and I really, really like KM in the movie. Man, she is such a badass in this movie. That scene where she's fighting Jason, wow, it is spectacular. And I gotta say too, this movie has a whole lot of stakes and suspense in it too, because literally one thing leads after the other in this movie, and the characters are just never ever safe in this movie. Like, Jason just doesn't give up in this movie whatsoever. And Jason in this movie was actually pretty dope too, not gonna lie. He had a lot of weight to him. So yeah, it's a very different movie in the franchise, but I do highly respect it for that though, because by the time we get to the 10th movie, are we really expecting another movie where Jason's just in the lake again? But my biggest flaw with this movie though is that a lot of the acting in this movie is actually very questionable, not gonna lie. Like, a lot of the acting in here is some of the worst I've seen in the franchise, but not all of it though. Some of it is actually really well acted, actually, and some of the characters I actually thought were a bit underdeveloped, and a lot of times this movie really did feel like an Alien ripoff, like Alien meets Jason. Now coming in at number 5, we have Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Now, I know a lot of people would put this movie a whole lot higher on their list, like their top 3, even in fact their number 1 actually. But the reason I put this at number 6 though is just cause I really can't stand the character of the sheriff. Sheriff Garris in the movie. My goodness, is he even more annoying than freaking Melissa in Friday the 13th Part 7. He literally just kept going against what he kept understanding, what he thought in his mind was right. He was so prideful, he never wanted to listen to the truth, and he just kept going and going and going with his same stupid decisions. Because Tommy Jarvis in this movie, he comes back in this movie, he actually sees Jason get resurrected, and he's trying to warn the sheriff about that, and the sheriff's like, "Oh, Jason's dead. You're crazy. Go to the cell. And if I see you again, I'm locking you up." And then there are so many times where the sheriff stupidly threatens Tommy Jarvis too. And it's like, what? You're literally a cop and you're putting threats on an innocent man? I hated that guy passionately. I also feel like there are other movies in the franchise that I like a little better too. Like there are some parts in this movie that also get me a little bored too. But this is still a great movie in the franchise though, don't get me wrong. Like it actually manages to be silly, but it does it in such a good way too. This movie tries to be fun sometimes, like with the kill sometimes. Like Jason like rips off a guy's arm and he just goes flying and then he just looks at his arm like, did I just do that? Yeah, moments like that are actually pretty funny in the movie. And the whole thing with Jason going after a little kids camp, I actually thought was super dark, not gonna lie. But the third act is really cool in this movie yet again. Jason is yet again awesome in this movie. So yeah, good movie in the franchise. Now coming in at number 4, I have Freddy vs. Jason.
Come on! Come on! So you are afraid of something after all, huh?
This was the very first Jason movie that I ever saw, actually. I saw this at a very young age, a much younger age than I should have, like at the age of 4, believe it or not. But this movie, damn, it's entertaining. This movie is entertaining all throughout. I will say this though, a lot of the characters in this movie, most of them, like 80% of them I would say, are super boring. They are all boring, they are so badly written, some of them are super badly acted, and there's really not much interesting with any of these characters, not gonna lie. And whenever they try to give us interesting scenes, like they just come off really boring. Like many scenes with the lead Laurie, which I find Laurie to be one of the most underwhelming leads of the entire franchise. And not only that, one of the most underwhelming leads I've seen in any horror movie. The only characters that I really liked in this movie were Mark. He was by far easily the best character of the movie. He was the only one that actually had real emotion and weight to him, not gonna lie. And he was acted so well too. Like compared to the other characters, it's like, is this character even in the same movie? He provided so much tension throughout that entire first half of the movie, and I really would have wanted to see more of him. Like his story with his brother and his past with Freddy, like all that was super investing, not gonna lie. I also did like the character of Linderman quite a bit in the movie too. Not gonna lie, he wasn't as well acted either, but Linderman, I found him to be a very relatable character in this movie, especially for someone like me. And it was cool to see like how helpful he is to trying to stop these monsters. He feels a bit more real too, because you can see the fear he has in doing all of this. And you can just see that he doesn't really want to be a part of this. But the biggest saving grace of this movie, the biggest saving grace of this movie entirely, is all the fighting between Freddy and Jason and their characters in this entire movie. They make this movie entirely. This is what the creators were pretty much making this movie for, were just for them two, rather than just the characters. So the fact that it's just them two just fighting throughout the entire movie. Oh, and the fighting in this movie isn't even like little time of the movie like most other versus movies. Like the fighting in this movie actually takes up a pretty big chunk of the movie, not gonna lie. Their fighting really goes on for quite a while, and when they are fighting, they go down. Like, their fighting is literally something else in this movie. It is very, very sick. The kills in this movie are really sick too, not gonna lie. The kills also are some of the best in the franchise as well. I actually did want to put this movie a little lower in my ranking, not gonna lie, but just because of how damn entertaining this whole movie is and how much you can really just sit back, turn your mind off, and just watch a dumb movie, it's just a real means of fun, this entire movie. So how much fun this movie is and how fast this movie goes by is what makes me put this high on the list. Now coming in at number 3, I have the original Friday the 13th. The reason reason I have this movie a bit high on the list is just because I really like the vibes in this movie. This movie was so beautifully shot, not gonna lie, like a lot more better shot than most of the movies in the franchise, not gonna lie. I really like the time they filmed this movie in, where it was all green. There's so much green in this movie, and the lakes literally look so beautifully clean. Like they look a lot more clean than some of the other lakes in the franchise. And the characters in this movie are some of the best in the entire franchise. They are so interesting throughout the entire movie. You care for them all throughout. I really like the conversations these characters have all throughout the movie because I really like seeing these characters' chemistry. Like this friendship right here really does have a strong bond with each other. And this is just the one that started it all. And the kills in this movie are also really cool too. And as a lot of you should know, Jason isn't really the killer in this movie. The killer is actually his mom, which for being the first movie of the franchise, I don't mind that because this was the first one. They didn't really have their full idea made yet. But Pamela Voorhees being the killer, like I did not see that coming at all. Like you would not think that an old lady that looked like this would be the killer because she just looks innocent. She looks nice. She looks comforting. She looks like somebody that can literally randomly come up to you with good advice. So yeah, and I found her to be very vicious in this movie because every time she would try to kill people, she always had in her mind that Jason was telling her to do that. She really misses her son that died in the lake, that she's willing to kill anybody responsible and anybody that comes back to that lake. And so later on, her son carries that exact same role that she did. And yes, the third act in this movie is yet again awesome. I love how long it goes on for. Like it really goes on for quite some time. And the main lead of Alice, she's super interesting, not gonna lie. She's such a cool final girl, not gonna lie. And her and Pamela fighting was actually really intense, not gonna lie. Okay, now these two movies right here, I would literally say are the grand masterpieces of Friday the 13th. They're not masterpiece movies in themselves, but of the franchise, they are literally perfect. Now coming in at number 2, we have Friday the 13th Part 2. This movie is where we see Jason for the first time. The legendary icon, the badass that we all know of, that we're all scared of. This is where he first comes in. And he is absolutely horrifying in this movie. He doesn't have his hockey mask in this movie, but I feel like the look that they gave him in this movie is even more scarier than the hockey mask, not gonna lie. And the characters in this movie are really fun, not gonna lie. This is one of the very few where the characters are actually very likable. You root for them, you care for them all throughout. You actually don't want to see Jason do anything bad to these characters. Sadly, some of them do have to go, but a lot of the times I'm just enjoying myself so much. I'm so satisfied throughout this entire movie just because of how made it is, how well written it is, how simple it is, how fast it flows. This movie is just so smooth all throughout. The kills are really dope. The suspense is completely on point in this movie. The main lead of Ginny I thought was awesome. She was actually a really cool final girl in this movie, not gonna lie. Like, she's brave. This is one tough girl right here. Like, when Jason comes to her, she actually gets really smart with how she protect herself. Like, I really would have wanted to see more of this character. She didn't even die at the end, so why didn't they ever bring her back in the other movies? It's just the perfect mix of relaxation and terror mixed in one. So that's why I put this movie really high on the list. Now coming in at number 1, the grand masterpiece, the one that just does everything perfectly as a Friday the 13th movie should, as any slasher movie should, honestly. Friday the 13th Part 4. This movie, like I said, just does it all right. Like, the characters in this movie are extremely likable. All the teens in this movie are absolutely hilarious. And I really like the main character. And I really like the main character of Jimmy. I can relate to him so damn much. Like, of all the characters of the franchise, he is the one that I actually see the most of myself in. And he's such a likable presence. He has some of the most funniest lines and funniest scenes in the entire movie, and he actually pulls in the movie. And the character of Tommy Jarvis, this is where we first get introduced to him. He is truly awesome in this movie. He's just a little kid, but he is one brave little kid. This is a kid that will literally get somewhere. And I mean literally, because he also is a designer too of masks, and he does such a beautiful job at that. Tommy Jarvis, he's also another funny character in this movie too. He's one that you really root for in this movie, not gonna lie. And I find those scenes hilarious when he's checking out the girls too, the teenagers right next door to him. Oh yes, and he is also beautifully acted in this movie. Corey Feldman in this movie, he is such a wonderful actor. This is a talented actor right here, and I'm so glad he got to be in so much more movies in the 80s. I've seen him in many more movies actually. And yes, just like part 2, this is one that I'm very, very satisfied to watch. Like all throughout, I find myself doing nothing but enjoying the entire thing, and I never get bored in this movie, not even once. And yes, the kills in this movie, the kills. Yes, they are awesome. Yet again, they are some of the best of the franchise. They excel your expectations. Some of these kills I thought were pretty creative too. And the ending of this movie was flat out perfect. This whole ending was nothing but fantastic and spectacular all throughout. The suspense it builds, the tension, Tommy literally coming up with the most wisest thing to do to protect Trish. And literally, Tommy becomes the hero at the end of the movie. And that was also an extremely unique thing to do, too. Having a kid be the hero, that was nothing more but awesome. So yeah, that was my ranking of all 12 Friday the 13th movies. Comment down below how you guys would actually rank this franchise too. Which movies do you like? Which movies do you not like? Did you agree with my ranking? Did you not agree with my ranking? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys haven't seen any of these movies, I highly recommend you at least just watch 1 or 2 of them. They're actually pretty sick. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye, and see you all in the next review.